Captain Isabella Izzy Blackwood stood at the viewport of the Star Wanderer, watching distant stars streak by as her ship cruised through the Orion trade corridor. Her reflection showed a woman in her mid-30s with close-cropped silver-white hair and eyes augmented with navigation overlays, a common modification for human spacers. Captain called First Officer Jen Wong from his station. Manifest inspection from our last port just cleared. They seemed particularly amused by our cargo designation, agricultural and maintenance supplies. Izzy smiled, running her finger along the worn leather strap of her grandfather's watch. Did they check the industrial cleaners? Of course. Apparently, we're carrying enough hydrogen peroxide to clean a small moon. Their words, not mine. The bridge crew shared knowing looks. Humans had learned early in their spacefaring days that listing weapons on manifestos made other species nervous. It wasn't their fault that nearly everything humans carried could be weaponized. Industrial cleaners became explosive compounds. Garden tools became mining equipment or breaching devices. Even their food preparation equipment caused concern. Who needed knives that could cut through carbon steel just to prepare dinner? Status report, Izzy called out, settling into her command chair. Engineering reports, all systems nominal, responded Lieutenant Reza Patel, her bronze skin reflecting the soft blue glow of her console. Though Kai wants you to know his latest modifications to the cargo loading mechanisms are, quote, ready for testing under combat conditions, end quote. Izzy raised an eyebrow. Did he use the rubber bands from Shipping Container 7? Negative. He said something about reproposing the industrial-grade bungee cords this time. The Star Wanderer was officially classified as a Class C cargo vessel, with minimal defensive capabilities according to Galactic standard metrics. The manifest listed no weapons, just like every other human merchant ship. The Galactic Council had initially been suspicious of this practice, but centuries of inspection had revealed nothing more threatening than cleaning supplies, engineering tools, and various industrial equipment. They were about 6 hours from the Centauri Junction when the sensors picked up the first anomaly. A massive shadow dropped out of FTL, its hull decorated with a kind of gaudy ornamentation that screamed space pirate in any language. Well, Izzy drawled, straightening in her chair, looks like someone's feeling brave today. Jen, what are we dealing with? Craxon vessel, Captain. Heavy cruiser class. They're painting something on their hull in real time. It appears to be the word surrender in 15 different languages. How thoughtful of them to be so inclusive, Izzy mused. Reza, are Kai's modifications ready? He says, and I quote, I've been waiting my whole life for this moment. The massive pirate ship drew closer, its weapon ports glowing with barely contained plasma. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a Craxon captain, all chitinous plates and bioluminescent threat displays. Human vessel, the alien captain's translator rendered his clicks and whistles into standard galactic. I am Supreme Commander Vexler of the Crimson Scythe. Our scans show you are carrying valuable cargo and possess no meaningful defensive capabilities. Surrender now, and we will allow your crew to keep their atmospheric suits when we space you. Izzy leaned forward, her augmented eyes shifting through spectrum analyses of the pirate vessel. Supreme Commander Vexler, this is Captain Isabella Blackwood of the Star Wanderer. I feel obligated to inform you that according to Galactic Maritime Law, Section 47B, Paragraph 12, you are required to give us at least 30 seconds to consider surrender terms. The Craxon captain's mandibles twitched in what passed for amusement among his species. Granted, human, though I fail to see what difference 30 seconds will make. Oh, Supreme Commander, Izzy's smile grew wider as she watched Kay's status indicators turn green across her visual overlay. You'd be amazed what humans can do in 30 seconds. Crew, initiate emergency protocol. Spring cleaning. The lights on the Star Wanderer dimmed to a deep red as hidden panels throughout the ship's hull began to shift. In the cargo bay, thousands of high-tension industrial bungee cords, rated for securing multi-ton cargo containers, were about to be repurposed in ways their manufacturers had never intended. The pirates were about to learn why humans didn't need to list weapons on their manifests, and why that should have terrified them from the start. Supreme Commander Vexthor had seen many things in his cycles of piracy, but watching a human cargo ship transform was a new experience. The vessel's seemingly decorative outer panels peeled back like the petals of a carnivorous flower, revealing what could only be described as a massive slingshot array. "What in the void is that?" His weapons officer chittered nervously. 30 seconds expired 10 seconds ago. Supreme Commander, Captain Blackwood's voice carried an almost musical quality. Now let me demonstrate why humans find elastic potential energy so fascinating. The first volley caught the Crimson Scythe completely off guard. Cargo containers, accelerated to near-relativistic speeds by Kay's bungee cord launcher system, screamed across space. The pirates' shields, calibrated to deflect energy weapons and conventional projectiles, struggled to comprehend the incoming object's velocity. "Evasive maneuvers," Vexthor screeched, but it was too late. The containers burst on impact, showering the pirate ship's hull with their contents. What looked like harmless cleaning fluid began eating through their armor plating with terrifying speed. Industrial-grade hydrogen peroxide, Izzy explained conversationally over the still-open channel, mixed with a few other cleaning products we had lying around. Amazing what a good cleaner can do to carbon steel alloys, isn't it? In the Star Wanderer's engineering section, Kai Nakamura worked his console like a concert pianist, his augmented fingers dancing across holographic controls. "Container Array 2 is hot, Captain. Loading special package from Bay 7. "Excellent." Izzy turned to Riza. "How about those shield modifications?" "Ready to deploy, Captain. Though I still think using repurposed atmospheric scrubbers as particle accelerators is crazy." "Crazy is what we do best, Lieutenant. Execute." The Star Wanderer's minimal defensive capabilities suddenly included a particle beam weapon crafted from atmospheric processing equipment. The beam lanced out, not at the pirate ship's hull, but at their sensor arrays. The delicate equipment, already confused by the unorthodox attack, overloaded instantly. Vexthor's bridge erupted in chaos as systems began failing across the board. Impossible. Their manifest listed no weapons. "Oh, we don't carry weapons," Izzy replied cheerfully. "Just cleaning supplies, maintenance equipment, and various mechanical parts. Like these lovely high-tension carbon fiber cables we use for cargo tie-downs." As if on cue, dozens of these cables shot out from the Star Wanderer's bow, their monomolecular edges glinting in the starlight. They wrapped around the Crimson Scythe's weapon ports, their incredible tensile strength actually warping the hull plating. "Engineering to bridge," Kai's voice crackled over the comm. "Permission to test the modified gravity plating, Captain. Given how our guest tried to space us earlier, I think that's only fair. Proceed." The deck plates that normally maintained the ship's artificial gravity had been reversed, creating localized gravity wells that played havoc with the pirate ship's internal systems. Vexthor watched in horror as his crew began floating, their inner ears unable to cope with the rapidly shifting gravitational forces. You're insane," he managed to gasp out. This violates every convention of space warfare. Convention. Izzy laughed, but there was steel beneath the mirth. You threatened to space my crew. Besides, we're not at war. This is just a simple trading vessel defending itself with the tools at hand. Speaking of tools, she nodded to Jane. The first officer activated what appeared to be a modified mining laser, technically listed as geological sampling equipment on their manifest. The beam precisely severed the pirate ship's primary power conduits, visible through the holes created by their improvised chemical weapons. Now then, Izzy's voice hardened. Let's discuss surrender terms. But this time, I'll be making the offer. Your ship is disabled, your crew is incapacitated, and I have about 30 more containers of cleaning supplies ready to launch. What's it going to be? The bridge of the Crimson Scythe had grown eerily quiet, save for the sound of retching crew members, still struggling with the gravity fluctuations. Vexthor's bioluminescent patches had faded to a sickly pale blue. You could have done this at any time. All this. Izzy gestured at her ship's deployed systems. This is just what we cobbled together during last week's maintenance cycle. You should see what we can do when we actually try. The silence that followed was broken only by the creaking of stressed hull plates and the distant twang of tensioned cables. Finally, Vexthor's mandibles drooped in submission. We surrender, he clicked softly. Just stop with the gravity changes. Izzy's smile was predatory. Excellent choice. Riza, contact Galactic Patrol. Let them know we've apprehended some pirates. Kai, power down the cargo launcher, but keep the cleaners ready. Something tells me word of this is going to spread, and I want to be prepared for any other opportunists. As the Star Wanderer's crew began securing their prize, Jin looked at his captain. You know, this is going to make future manifest inspections much more interesting. Perhaps, Izzy agreed, checking the wear on her grandfather's watch. But I doubt anyone's going to believe that we defeated a heavy cruiser with cleaning supplies and cargo straps. Sometimes the best defense is being so ridiculous that no one takes you seriously until it's too late. The Star Wanderer's manifest remained unchanged. No weapons, just a merchant vessel with a creative approach to ship maintenance and cargo management. After all, humans had learned long ago that the most dangerous weapons weren't the ones you could list on a manifest. They were the ones you carried in your mind. Word travels fast in space, especially bad news. Within hours of the Star Wanderer's victory over the Crimson Scythe, quantum communications buzzed with encrypted messages between pirate vessels across 3 sectors. The story seemed too absurd to be true. A human cargo ship defeating one of the most notorious pirate crews using cleaning supplies and cargo equipment. But Vexthor's distress beacon told no lies. In the Star Wanderer's mess hall, Captain Blackwood nursed a cup of real Earth coffee while reviewing damage reports. The engagement had taken its toll. Several cargo bays were compromised, and Kai's improvised weapon systems had strained the power grid beyond recommended limits. Multiple contacts dropping out of FTL. Jan's voice came through her neural link. Looks like we've attracted an audience. Izzy was on her feet before the last word faded. Of course we have. No one likes being shown up, especially pirates. Battle stations. This time 3 vessels emerged from hyperspace, a mix of different species and designs, but all bearing the unmistakable marks of piracy. Their leader, a massive dreadnought named Prophet's Vengeance, spelling errors included, took point. Human vessel, a gravelly voice transmitted. I am Warlord Krath of the Shadow Confederation. Your little trick with Vexthor was impressive, but lightning doesn't strike twice. Surrender now, or or you'll space us." Izzy interrupted, reaching the bridge. "Very original. Kai, how's our inventory?" "Better than ever, Captain," the engineer replied with unsettling enthusiasm. "Remember those magnetic containment units we use for sensitive cargo? Turns out they make excellent particle accelerators when reversed. The first pirate vessel fired a warning shot, a standard intimidation tactic. The plasma bolt dissipated harmlessly against the Star Wanderer's shields, which now incorporated reproposed atmospheric scrubbers to create a dispersal field. You know what I love about pirates." Izzy addressed her crew while typing commands into her console. "They never learn. Riza, initiate protocol. Spring-loaded." This time, the Star Wanderer's response was even more unexpected. The ship's external lighting arrays, normally used for docking guidance, began pulsing in seemingly random patterns. The pirates' targeting systems, designed to track conventional vessels, suddenly found their sensors overwhelmed by what appeared to be thousands of phantom signals. "What sorcery is this?" Kraft demanded. "Just some clever use of light refraction," Izzy explained cheerfully. "Amazing what you can do with standard navigation lights and a good understanding of how targeting computers work. Now, about those magnetic containment units." The Star Wanderer's cargo bays opened once again, but instead of launching containers, they released clouds of metallic debris. Industrial waste they'd been contracted to transport to a recycling facility. The clouds, energized by the reproposed magnetic containment fields, formed a swirling storm of razor-sharp particles. Fun fact about human ships, Izzy continued as the debris cloud expanded. "We're really big on recycling. Everything has a use, even garbage." The nearest pirate vessel, attempting to maneuver through the metal storm, found its hull being systematically stripped by particles accelerated to incredible speeds. Their shields, designed to stop larger projectiles, were useless against the microscopic onslaught. "Captain," Riza called out, "they're trying to coordinate a simultaneous attack from multiple vectors." "Perfect. Kai, remember that modification you wanted to test? The one with the industrial lubricants?" "Oh, yes." The engineer's grin was audible. "Initiating slip and slide protocol." Pressurized tanks of industrial lubricant, normally used for maintaining cargo bay mechanisms, deployed their contents in a fine mist. The specialized compound, designed to work in zero gravity, coated the approaching ships. Their maneuvering thrusters, suddenly fighting against unpredictable surface tensions, began to misfire. The pirate fleet's coordinated attack dissolved into chaos as ships struggled to maintain position. One vessel, overcompensating for the lubricant, spun directly into the metal debris cloud. The results were spectacular. "Your ships are compromised," Izzy announced to the increasingly desperate pirates. "Your targeting systems are blind, your hulls are being shredded, and you're quite literally sliding around in space. Would you like to discuss surrender terms? Or should I ask my engineer what else he's been tinkering with?" You can't do this," Kraft protested. "This violates basic principles of combat." "Combat?" Izzy feigned surprise. "Oh no, this is just a cargo ship performing routine maintenance. See, we're cleaning space debris, lubricating mechanical systems, and recycling waste materials. Everything's listed right here in our manifest." The remaining pirates, watching their supposedly easy target systematically dismantle their fleet using cleaning supplies and trash, began to understand why humans didn't need to list weapons. When everything is a potential weapon, the manifest becomes more of a creative writing exercise. "Galactic patrol signals detected," Jen reported. "ETA 12 minutes. Perfect timing. Izzy settled back in her chair. "Warlord Krath, I suggest you and your remaining ships power down now. Unless you'd like to explain to the patrol exactly how you were defeated by a cargo ship armed with cleaning supplies and garbage." The silence that followed was broken only by the pinging of metal particles against disabled hulls and the occasional squeal of misfiring thrusters sliding on space-grade lubricant. Sometimes, Izzy reflected, the best weapons weren't weapons at all. They were the everyday tools that no one thought twice about, until they ended up in human hands. The Galactic Council's emergency session was anything but ordinary. Representatives from 17 species gathered to discuss what many were calling the cleaning supply incident. Surveillance footage of the Star Wanderers' encounters had leaked, causing widespread panic among pirate communities and genuine concern among legitimate authorities. In her testimony before the council, Captain Blackwood stood calmly at the podium, her grandfather's watch ticking steadily at her wrist. "Distinguished representatives," she began, "I understand your concerns. Yes, we turned cleaning supplies into weapons. Yes, we used cargo equipment as defense systems. And yes, we defeated 2 pirate fleets using items commonly found on any human merchant vessel. But I would argue this demonstrates not human aggression, but our commitment to peace." The Zalaxian representative's tentacles writhed in agitation. How does weaponizing everyday items demonstrate peace? Because, Izzy smiled, we chose not to carry actual weapons. We could have mounted military-grade weaponry. Instead, we simply used what we had available when attacked. Is it our fault that human ingenuity makes weapons unnecessary? Meanwhile, across the galaxy, pirate networks were updating their threat assessments. Human cargo ships were now classified as approach with extreme caution, potentially armed with cleaning supplies. The Star Wanderer's manifest remained unchanged: cleaning supplies, cargo equipment, and various mechanical parts. But now those simple items carried a weight of terror all their own. 6 months after the council hearing, the Star Wanderer docked at New Singapore Station. Captain Blackwood watched through the viewport as dock workers gave their ship a suspiciously wide berth. "Manifest inspection incoming," Jen reported. "They're being very thorough." "Let them," Izzy replied. "Everything's exactly as listed." The inspection team, led by a nervous Drachnid official, meticulously documented every item aboard. They paid particular attention to a new shipment of industrial-strength dish soap. This quantity of cleaning agent, the inspector noted, seems excessive. "We like to keep things clean," Izzy replied innocently. "Would you like a demonstration?" The inspection team practically ran from the ship. Later that night, in the quiet of her quarters, Izzy logged her final report. "The galaxy's finally learning what humans have known all along. It's not the weapons you carry that make you dangerous. It's the imagination to see the potential in everything around you. We don't list weapons on our manifests because we don't need to. Every tool is a weapon if you hold it right, and every human ship is armed simply by virtue of having a human crew. The pirates now give us a wider berth than military vessels. Our cleaning supplies have become more terrifying than plasma cannons. And somehow, that's made the galaxy a slightly safer place. Because now they understand, the most dangerous species isn't the one with the biggest guns. It's the one that doesn't need guns at all." Captain's log, Isabella Blackwood, Merchant Vessel Star Wanderer. End entry. As she finished her log, a notification flashed across her neural link. New cargo contract. Delivery of industrial rubber bands and paper clips to the Outer Rim colonies. The client had specifically requested the Star Wanderer for the job. Izzy smiled. Some things in the galaxy had changed, but others remained constant. Human ingenuity would always find a way, whether it was moving cargo, defending ships, or turning household items into the stuff of pirate nightmares. The Star Wanderer's manifest would continue to list only the essentials: cleaning supplies, cargo equipment, and various mechanical parts. The fact that these items were now more feared than battleship arsenals was simply an amusing footnote in the ongoing story of humanity's relationship with the galaxy. After all, as any human could tell you, it's not about what you carry, it's about what you can do with it. End of story.